Alright, welcome back to the last installment of the Horton 229 for, well, a couple of weeks. Gotta go out of town tomorrow for work. So, anyway, what I'm doing is I'm working on the bottom of the left wing here. You can see it's a 4-foot wide table, and the whole wing is pretty much the width of the table. So, what I'm doing is I'm hooking up the first Elevon servo. It's a JR8711, just 440 rods, standard 440 ball link up here, and a 440 Sullivan Golden clevis here. Air power, molded control arm, nothing super fancy, just JR 9-channel receiver and a little 4-cell NiCad for setup. So anyway, I got the Elevon hooked up working, and you can see up elevator works nice and goot. About 1.25 inches of up elevator at the root at that point there, and about 1 inch down. So works really well. I love JR servos. I've converted a lot of people from high-tech digitals to JRs. They are worth the money in my opinion, because the centering ability is much better compared to some of the more economically priced JR or high-tech digitals. I haven't really messed with much of the 7955 high-tech stuff for the money. I just go with a JR. They work better in my opinion. Personal preference, but for those who have never flown JR digitals and they actually fly an airplane, one compared to high-tech and another one compared to JR, they almost always say the JR feels a little bit better. But again, personal opinion, my thoughts. Elevon working. Whoopity-doo. So that one's done. The wing over there is ready for a servo. I just got to pick one up sometime. You can also see in front of the Elevon servo is a little bitty teeny tiny. Well, that's not really teeny tiny, but it's just a high-tech HS81 Metal Gear servo. That's for the drag rudders. I mean, you can see it's really cramped in here. A little straw tube here is for the LED wingtip lights when we get to that point. Bottom drag rudder, and there's also one there on top, as you can see. So let me hang the wingtip off the thing. As you'll notice, when I give right rudder, nothing happens. This is done on purpose, and I'll explain the reason why later, or here in a minute. So right rudder, nothing. This is the left wing panel. See, the servo also doesn't move with right rudder at all. The reason why I've got it programmed this way is so we can actually deploy both of these on each wing panel and use them as speed brakes as well as drag rudders. So you see left rudder, they pop out and go back. Same thing on the bottom. And you're looking at the back of it, so let me reposition the wing here. And if you're wondering why it's so shaky, I'm using my iPhone. I don't feel like breaking out the camcorder for this. So looking ahead on view, you can see they pop out and go back in. So that's your yaw control right there. That's a conventional rudder, but on a flying wing it's a drag rudder. And these things, they work really well. They're supposed to work really good. And you can see the little buffer holes I've got drilled out in there too in the spill plate. You can't quite see them as much on the bottom ones because they don't pop out as much, but they pop out. So there's that. Elevons work well. You can see they're freeze hinge style Elevons, just like the real one. They stick down just a little bit. The reason why they stick down is so when you're turning, the wing that's going to be climbing is creating more lift, which creates more drag. So this, it also, the descending wing with that little lip sticking down creates more drag, which is supposed to counteract the drag created from the rising wing. So it kind of keeps it coordinated through the turn without needing any rudder input, or at least that's the plan. This wing out here is essentially complete, other than just some buttoning up of stuff. I've got the hatch around here somewhere, but that's all cut out. Oh, here it is. You can see the hatch is kind of cut out to fit around the linkage, so you don't have to take the linkage off at all. It fits in there. This lip, of course, will go under the skin, and then the drag rudder cut out. See, there's very little clearance there. This wing is, if you like an engineering marvel or complexity or just difficulties or really a challenge, this is definitely the airplane for you. You can see, let me extend the drag rudder a bit and get this thing to where it'll focus. You can kind of see, I know it's really crappy focus, but it's an iPhone. But you can see right there at the corner of the drag rudder how I kind of hollowed out the tip of it. So the lock nut there on the servo would clear it. I mean, it's just barely clearing. So good enough. Anyway, like I said, I gotta go out of town starting tomorrow morning. We're going down to Del Rio, Texas to do some rabies vaccinations. Yeah, I know, I'm a pilot, not a vet, but you're probably wondering. We do that stuff for wild coyotes and foxes and stuff down there out of the airplanes. So go do that. I gotta come back up to Pennsylvania for a week afterwards. So I should be back home around the 24th. Once the 24th gets around, hopefully I'll have the last 2 servos I need for the wing panels. I can button this stuff up. My buddy Tom took the center section. He's going to work on the landing gear while I'm gone. And we're both going to try and come up with some money to finish this thing so I can get the first one flying. And for those of you who are interested in purchasing a kit, well, short kit, hopefully that first one flying will get you guys enticed to break out the checkbooks and start writing some checks and get one of these things. Not a super hard airplane to build. It's just got its little technical things that make you think for a while. The drag rudder's being really the biggest one, and that's really about it. So until the 25th or the 24th or sometime around then, all you people out there in YouTube land, have a good one, and we'll see you back here in the shop.